Stop doing that with plates.
We're live on Facebook now.
Oh!
We just have to say, as we introduce day 20 of Pods with Posh and Paul, updates and chats with Joe and Sue. Joe has just been made admin for the first time, so she's not sure quite what she's doing, but we'll just go with the flow. And the whole point about our podcast is that we are real, we are raw, and we are vulnerable. So as you see us, what you see is what you get.
Yeah, unfortunately on some occasions, to be fair. So we are just trying to hold it together today, aren't we? But it's very exciting today because, well, yesterday we introduced TeenPODS, didn't we? We were supposed to launch it today, but I stupidly launched one yesterday. But that's okay, just a day in advance. It's not normally our style. We're normally a bit behind. So we are starting our little podcast series for teenagers and early 20s. And we've got some really exciting episodes coming up. And yesterday we released the beautiful Kelty Kewen, who is absolutely amazing. And today we are releasing Tom Hall Taylor. And they're both very different subjects, but should interest a lot of teenagers. Yesterday was all about self-image, body image. What else?
Well, Kelty did a beautiful speech at school, didn't she? She won a speaking contest with her writing, which was called Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. And it was looking at whether we should be accepting plastic surgery and looking at our identity and how we perform in society, what's acceptable, what's not, what do we have to do to keep up with our peer group. And then Tom Hall Taylor was great. He was talking about what it's like to leave school and not know what you want to do, with everybody going to university, or seemingly people have got jobs lined up. So he went off traveling, and then he talked about the fact traveling wasn't actually what he thought it was going to be either. There were days he felt lost, he had no purpose, he's just going from one place to the other, and it was a different set of struggles. Then he went to university this year, and obviously now, having settled at university, he's come back home for lockdown. Two, as you say, very different chats. They're short, sharp messages. They're 15 minutes, so we've got them on YouTube, and we release them as a podcast series. And tomorrow we'll have our third, so we're releasing one every day this week for 5 days. So tomorrow is really exciting as well. We won't mention who it is, but another very different topic. And today also we have released day 20 of our lockdown chats. Can't believe we're day 20 already.
And it was the lovely Dr. Emma Woodward, who is a psychologist, and she works a lot with children, families, young people. And she is just so down to earth, so straight talking, got such a lovely nature. She just epitomizes how none of us are perfect, and she owns it, and I love that about her. And she's very authentic, but she gives some great tips on how to avoid trouble in our bubble. But actually her tips are just great for everyday life as well, aren't they, and what we should really be concentrating on and what's really important to us. So she was actually a pleasure to talk to this morning.
She was great, and she's the mother of 4 boys, younger than ours. We've got 18s between us, hers is slightly younger, and we were talking about now being on week 3. Jacinda announced we're on week 3, and it gets tough and to keep going, and she confirmed that. She said week 3 is always the hardest, but she's also, as you say, really down to earth, really in touch with what works and what doesn't work. Some great tips, and just so real in terms of, look, it's hard, and lots of us are trying to work as well and manage children. This is the week that a lot of children, especially in New Zealand, go back to school. What works? If it's not working, you've got to juggle between lots of different children. It's okay to put them on devices. It's okay also to take time out, because she did say and emphasize that our mental health as parents is of prime importance, didn't she, Jo?
Yeah, she did. It was paramount, didn't she? And it's a message we give all the time, and most of our guests also do the same. You know, self-care is a necessity. It's not selfish. Self-care should always be a priority, because making you the best version of you helps in every situation, and especially in lockdown, or if we are juggling life, we want to be the best versions of ourselves.
Absolutely. And a few of you have been asking where you can find us, where are our podcasts. So for those of you that can't find our podcasts, we are on all the podcasting apps: Apple, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, iHeart Radio, all the podcast apps. So if you go onto your podcast app on your phone, you'll find us there. You'll find our talks on YouTube. So if you like watching as opposed to listening, you can go onto YouTube, Pods with Posh and Paul. But all our updates about what we're releasing, what's going on, all our blogs, posts, even little sayings for the day. They're all on Facebook, Pods with Posh and Paul. So Pods with Posh and Paul Facebook is where all the information is landing. And then you can go and find the podcasts on the podcasting sites.
But yeah, so we recommend, and even if you are not a teenager, the talk with Kelty and Tom is still really interesting. Actually, as parents, it's really insightful to listen to what teenagers are thinking and how they're feeling. So it is TeenPODS, it is directed at teens, but I feel it will be beneficial to the wider audience as well.
So we've actually been working really hard. We've got 3 different sets of releases. We've got our once a week release with a podcast guest. We have a daily release for COVID lockdown, which is a theme or topic for the day for 30 days. And then we've got TeenPODS as well. So lots to listen to. They're all on the same sites. And Joe and I are overwhelmed, but we've got really exciting guests coming on board as well. We've got a nurse from the practice in Devonport coming to speak to the community. We have got our councillor Chris Darby coming on board, speaking to us about what's going on in the council. We have got, hopefully, John Ashton, who runs our local supermarket, coming on board to tell us about what's happening in the supermarkets. And we have got such an exciting array of guests coming up. We almost can't keep up with it, can we, Joe? We're inundated, but it's really exciting. Your feedback is really important to us. We're having feedback from all around the world. Please send your feedback. That means the world to us. It kind of keeps us going, keeps us motivated, keeps us on track, and we can kind of see where we're at. So please leave feedback on the Facebook page or on YouTube. Message us. And if you want to come on board, just message us on our email, which is podswpp@gmail.com. Send us a message and you can get your teen to come on board, or if you're experienced with teenagers or you've got issues with teenagers, come on board and we can have a chat. It'd be lovely.
Lovely. And hopefully tomorrow we can figure this out again. And hopefully in a moment I can shut this down and without swearing and dancing and stuff like that, which would be really good. But
we could put an L plate, Joe, on you today, actually, because you're admin for the first time. We can switch on here, don't we, on Zoom? We could have put a little L plate on you today because you're learning. But I think you've done very well to get us on Facebook Live, because I struggled first time. It's quite complicated.
Well, I'm going to go now as a you. I miss you very much. I cannot wait till we're sitting next to each other. And thank you, everybody, for listening. And we will be back tomorrow.